Fantasy Alarm TV, I'm your host, Ray Flowers, as we wrap up our talk about the quarterback position. First number of the day is 1.7, as in the difference between the QB rating in 2014 and the career mark of Andy Dalton. Now, I know that Dalton didn't perform up to the levels of expectations, and statistically speaking, his overall performance was way down, but the fact is, he was still an effective quarterback. I know no one wants to hear that. He's not a sexy play, and he's nothing more than a QB2 option. But again, his QB rating was basically right on his career mark. He had a 64% completion percentage, which was the best of his career. Now, why the downturn? I mean, he averaged 3,980 yards and 30 touchdown passes in 2012 and 2013. Last year didn't get to 3,400 yards and didn't get to 20 touchdowns. Why is that? A.J. Green was hobbled virtually half the season. He seemed to always be dealing with something, and that's a huge weapon. A.J. Green, one of the top 5 receivers in football, just wasn't at 100%. Marvin Jones was out for large portions of last year. He was supposed to be the number 2. Andy Dalton didn't have the weapons, and Andy Dalton is not the kind of quarterback that can elevate the play of those around him. He needs those people around him to perform, and when those top guys for the Bengals were out of the mix, Andy Dalton was what he would be with that situation if it were to rise again in 2015, just a guy. Could he be better than just a guy? He can be, as I noted, 3,980 yards, 30 touchdowns, an average in 2012 and 13. You take him as a QB2, you hope. That's about it for Andy Dalton. Second number of the day is 0.93. As in the touchdown to interception ratio the last 2 seasons of Mr. McCown, Josh McCown of the Browns. And good grief, Charlie Brown. Looks like the Browns are going to go with McCown over Johnny Manziel, who's starting to straighten his life out, but there's still questions about, can he perform on the NFL football field. Worse than a touchdown to interception 1-to-1. I mean, that's not good for McCown. Barely 200 passing yards for McCown, 60% completion percentage. The guy is J-A-G, just a guy. And you look at the weapons he has to throw to. Andrew Hawkins is a nice receiver, but, they brought in Rob Hauser. Okay. Brian Hartline, Dwayne Bowe, they can move the chains, but there's nothing, not going to be good in Cleveland, at least through the air. Josh McCown's not someone I'm drafting, and I don't think I'd draft a single wide receiver from the Browns either. I don't know who to draft in the backfield for the Browns. Like I said, good grief, Charlie Brown. And then the final number of the day is 0. Yeah, 0. 0. What does 0 stand for? It's not good. It's the number of seasons in which Joe Flacco has thrown for 4,000 yards in his career. Can you believe that? Super Bowl MVP. Guy plays every game, never misses one. Been around for years. Joe Flacco has never thrown for 4,000 yards. He fell 14 yards short last season. Now, he did throw a career best in the touchdown column last year, 27. Never thrown for 4,000 yards or 28 touchdowns as Joe Flacco, and that is surprising. Now, they added Bashard Perriman in the draft, and I think this is probably the key to the offense. Can he step forward? Because, Torrey Smith is now gone. He went to the Niners. Steve Smith is still around and can do some things, but he's extremely limited, nowhere near the player he used to be, and certainly shouldn't be looked at to improve upon what he did last year. So we need Perriman to step forward, and we really need something to happen to the tight end position, whether Dennis Pitt is able to overcome his hip issues and get back on the field, or whether it's Max Williams, the rookie, stepping forward. There are options and opportunities for some guys in this Ravens offense. If there's a chance that we see 4,000 yards from Flacco this year, sure there is. Especially if Justin Forsett can be as effective as an overall player this year as he was last year, even if it's less as a runner, maybe a little bit more as a passer, and the West Coast offense are going to employ this year. But the fact is, Flacco is not a big-ticket guy. He's not a big statistical guy. QB2, kind of just a guy for me as well in 2015. Big 3, Fantasy Alarm TV. This will wrap up our discussions about the quarterbacks. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to y'all again soon.